Direct Trades, reviving human connection through tangible skills and live experiences. From concerts to vineyards to remodels, we follow people whose work exists beyond a screen. The future isn't built by watching, it's built by creating. Living a life grounded in real experiences, all in Augusta, Missouri. Direct Trades.
I am here with Tim Campen, the founder of the Augusta Wine Jazz Festival.
Thanks so much for having me. You look too real to be a robot. People think building a music festival starts with just finding a bunch of bands. It doesn't. It starts with one idea, and then it turns into 100. Where are the musicians going to perform? How much does the stage cost? Can we find sponsors? How do we market it? Will people even show up? What do we do if it rains? Who's running the sound? How are we going to film it so we can sell tickets next year? Who's even selling tickets in the first place? Who's cleaning up after everybody goes home? These are all the thousands of decisions you have to make before the headliner even plays the first note. So today I want to show you how I built a music festival from scratch. And if you're watching this and you think, man, I'd love to be part of something like this, that's exactly why I started Direct Trades. If you're anywhere near Missouri and want to help build festivals and concerts with us in the United States, there's a place for you. So I'm Tim Strings. Most people know me as a cellist. I've toured around the world. I'm pioneering a new instrument called Chalola, but yeah, I've played in the US, Canada, Europe, China. Then I started to produce my own show, my own concert, right? And so once I started doing that and not playing for other people, you kind of realize, dang, I really didn't appreciate the crew that was really, throwing all the lights up, sweating just to make it happen so I could, walk on stage and play a show. But playing music is just really a tiny piece of the live experience. The real challenge begins long before the audience ever arrives. So how do you build a festival? Honestly, it's like starting a small business with a deadline you can't move. I began with a vision. I'm a huge jazz fan. I listen to a bunch of jazz, and I live in this tiny little town, 300 people. So after a cigar and a couple glasses of port, overlooking the Missouri hills, beautiful nature, my mentality was like, let's just do it. Let's just try it. Because sometimes the best things are you just kind of have to do instead of being stuck in analysis paralysis. But then came the budget. And I built this festival as a jazz crawl where people visiting could go to 10 wineries and the coffee shop and the town park and then end up at the Performing Arts Center. But once I got the idea of the flow, I chose a memorable date, the first Saturday in June. That way, when you market it and you print everything out, you have the same material you can use every single year. So after all this and trying to get different aspects together and seeing how much the wineries would pay and how much I'd have to fundraise, I started reaching out to different musicians and coordinating them to play at various venues. This is different from traditional festivals where you have one stage, one area, and every band plays there. Some artists I booked outside of St. Louis, it's only 45 minutes away. St. Louis, Missouri is only 45 minutes away, and some of these artists had never been out to the oldest wine district in America, Augusta, Missouri. So I started to slot all the musicians at all these different venues. I scheduled them. I made sure the headliner the first year would be something really special. But then the biggest part I wasn't expecting was coordinating sponsorship. So this is a huge, you almost need one person just to do all this, but sometimes if you're the one doing it, you got to do it all, I had to go to different businesses, different people, different music fanatics that I knew would be a part of this that would help promote and sponsor the festival. And even before it existed, I didn't, have photos or nothing to show them. So I was doing all the graphics, all the promo, all the marketing myself. So it didn't even look like a very polished thing. But if you say wine and jazz, hey, people want to come out. So I started the Augusta Wine Jazz Festival. And after the second year, it started to gain some traction. Somebody just happened to show up and they were a marketing genius, So different people that show up. Make sure you get their emails and their contact info, because the people that show up the first or second year are going to be the ones who help you pioneer this forward. And then I started to help recruit young apprentices through Trek Trades. So it's a crew I started essentially, and we started to get all the logistics figured out, from lodging for the bands to parking to permits to food vendors to running power and sound equipment, weather plans. What do you do if it rains? Signage. It does take a lot. Don't get me wrong. Every week, another problem appears. Another week, a puzzle gets solved. And every decision you make affects 10 others. College never taught me any of this. I learned this because of the Harmony. Our music venue trusted me enough to produce a real festival. And looking back, almost everything that's made my career thrive has come from actually being more hands-on and not sitting in a classroom at all. So if you want to help build these concerts and festivals, reach out to me, trektrades@gmail.com. You can text that Gmail too, trektrades@gmail.com. I'd love to help you if you're starting your own festival, or if you want to help me grow these festivals here in Augusta, Missouri, come on out. But there's a lot I didn't expect. There's a lot of surprises that popped up. It wasn't even the logistics. It wasn't even seeing people finally enjoy the music after months of planning. It was the crew of people that actually put the show together, laughing while unloading trailers and setting up gear, getting soaked in the rain together, running around selling t-shirts, solving problems that nobody planned for. Now, somewhere between people rolling speakers up and connecting cables, the crew became friends, really. And that's when I realized the crew might actually be more important than the concert. Because the festival, it really only lasts one day. The relationships of the crew, now they keep going. And that's the part that almost no one really talks about. The bigger question that got me thinking, how many careers exist that nobody's really even heard about? You know, when you're in high school, people talk about doctors and lawyers and teachers, of course, engineers. But nobody said, hey, you could make a career building concerts. You know, I said I was interested in music because I could play the cello, and they said, how are you going to make a career in music? They had no clue. You know, you could mix live sound, you could set up lights, you could manage artists, you could film live events. There's so many different aspects of a show. How are young people supposed to even make a decision on a career that they've never even been exposed to? And some careers make the most sense when you actually are there hands-on and see it first person. But here's what surprised me the most. Nobody showed up in my crew because they wanted another line on their resume. They came because they wanted to build something together. Somewhere along the way, the strangers became friends. And this is where I feel like adults have almost forgotten how to make friends. Not because they've forgotten how to talk, but because we've forgotten how to build things together. Maybe adults don't need more places to meet people, but we need more things worth doing together. A lot of us spend all week staring at our screens, then Friday comes. So we go out hoping to make some sort of connection. We stand around making small talk with strangers. You know how this goes, hoping something clicks. Sometimes it does, you know? Sometimes it does. I'm a very social person. Most of the time, though, everybody goes home feeling just as disconnected as when they arrived. Real friendships usually aren't built by standing in the same room. They're built by problem solving and sweating together and building something and working towards a common goal. Now, I've made more lifelong friends loading in trailers at 2 a.m. than I have standing around trying to force a conversation at a bar. Maybe that's what we've forgotten as humans. Connection isn't something you find, it's something you build. So this is what I hope the crew Trek Trades will become. Everybody talks about followers and likes and views and algorithms, but I don't even think people need more followers. I think people need to get the gang back together again, you know? A crew of people that has your back, who knows your name, people counting on you, People who notice when you show up because your hands and your mind are valued at that event, and we need you. Because there's something different about belonging to a team that is trying to build something bigger than any one person. And this isn't just my opinion. The longest running study ever on a human happiness, the Harvard study of adult development, found that relationship quality is a stronger predictor of long, happy life than social class, IQ, and genetics. It's about the people you build the relationships with. Researchers found that strong social connections protect people from chronic illness, slow cognitive decline, and delay mental deterioration better than any other factor, really. This is fascinating. Human connection is one of the most important things for health, for you, for your quality of life in so many ways, and yet you're still on the screen. Get off the screen. Come out to Augusta. Humans were never meant to build life alone. You want to talk AI?
Will it replace these jobs?
Thank you. Is AI going to replace jobs? Honestly, AI is incredible. I use it almost every day. Write emails, create graphics, help organize projects. But AI can't carry a speaker. It can't calm down a nervous performer. It can't shake somebody's hand. It can't solve a problem in the rain. It can't unplug the cable from a speaker. Almost every job at this festival exists because people are physically getting together and using their hands. And I don't think that's going away anytime soon. If anything, those jobs with skills that require your hands are going to become even more valuable. Physical work feels really different. And I've noticed something about myself after spending all day on a computer. I'm really mentally exhausted, but after spending a day at a festival, I'm physically tired, but somehow I'm mentally clear. I sleep better, I feel more accomplished. There's something deeply satisfying about looking around at the end of the day and saying, we built this, we made this happen. And maybe that's something we've been missing. So I really started to look into other things that I could really use my hands with. I'm a musician, and so I'm really good and dexterous. So carpentry became an interest of mine. Winemaking and harvesting, like farming, cooking. I love to cook. And I've really just started to realize anything with my hands that's not just sitting at a desk, I love doing. And there are so many jobs that are needed that AI can never replace. And most people who are good at the trades and good at their hands are retiring because we're so focused on these stupid screens here. So this is really why I built Trek Trades, because I wanted people to experience this feeling, learning useful skills, working with real tools, moving your body, getting outside, working alongside other people, finding a crew, building friendships through shared experiences, learning by doing, creating instead of consuming, using technology to help you build something real. This festival was never the destination, it's the classroom. But the bigger vision, really, today we're building festivals. We're restoring the Harmony, 1860s polka hall, to become a state-of-the-art performing arts center. We're training crews. We're creating opportunities for people to learn tangible skills while building live experiences together. Because I believe that's where some of the best friendships come from, the best careers, and maybe the best lives are built really actually working together in the real world. So this really isn't a story about a music festival. It's a story about when people show up and work for each other. If Trek Trades becomes anything, I hope it becomes a place where people don't just watch life, but they help build life. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, welcome to the crew. I need all the help I can get. I'm trying to do this Augusta Wine and Jazz Fest. I'm trying to do this Bluegrass Fest. I'm trying to do a film fest. I got a short film called The Townies I just need people to help out with. I'm starting a music studio. I'm starting this podcast. I'm doing all sorts of things, but I need your help. And I want you to join the crew. I want you to be part of something in the real world. And if not, then go out and build something in the real world. Get off this, go build something. Get off YouTube.
Direct Trades, reviving human connection through tangible skills and live experiences. From concerts to vineyards to remodels, we follow people whose work exists beyond a screen. The future isn't built by watching, it's built by creating. Living a life grounded in real experiences, all in Augusta, Missouri. Direct Trades.